The Blue Jays start their road trip down in Atlanta, taking on the Braves, and Marcus Stroman got the bump today. And in his last start, he could not throw strikes, and he got torched. I think it was in the 5th inning, and it was just a really, really tough night for Marcus Stroman. He was dealing through 4, and then bang, hit a brick wall, couldn't find the zone, and lost the game. Today, that was a big key going in. Could he throw strikes? Well, he was stellar in this game. First off, Jays win 6-2 over the Atlanta Braves. And like I said, start the road trip off on the right note down in Atlanta. Marcus Stroman gets his second win of the season. Second win since coming off the DL, so that's got to be some positive news for him. He goes 7 innings, giving up 6 hits, 1 run, 5 strikeouts, and the key, walks 2 guys over 7 innings. So if you guys love to look at the ERA stat as kind of like, okay, this is how this guy's doing. Coming into the game, Marcus Stroman had a 6.5 ERA. After the game today, 5.9. He dropped it 60 points. That is beautiful for Marcus Stroman. To see it start to dwindle down, he had it above 8 when he came off the DL. So to see it come down to earth where, well, it's not where it should be as of yet, but he is getting it there. He's looked great since he's come off the disabled list, except for 1 bad inning in his last start. Now, the key for today was, what kind of offense are we going to get? And we didn't really see a lot going. Justin Smoke gets a solo shot. The smoke bomb's coming out early here in Atlanta. Deep drive to center, and it just barely leaves the yard, but it's a deep ballpark, and he crushes it to center field. And the Jays got the lead 1-0 off Justin Smoke's 13th home run of the year. Things are going great to the bottom of the 6th, however, when Kurt Suzuki singles to left field. Ozzie Albies comes in to score, and we're tied at 1. Stroman ain't happy. I don't know if he was mad about them playing in, if they should have been playing back or not. I'm not sure if that was a big thing or not, but nonetheless, run comes in to score, and we are tied at 1 apiece. And Marcus Stroman obviously goes out for the 7th inning, does his job in the 7th. So now you go to the top of the 8th, and the only possible way that Marcus Stroman can get a victory is if the Blue Jays get the lead in the 8th and keep the lead and get the win that way. Well, they bring in Minter out of the bullpen. And right away, and this was kind of a theme in this game, Dansby Swanson makes an error on a throw to first base. Solarte ends up at first to lead off the inning. And with that being said, Solarte comes out. Gurriel Jr. comes in because you want to get that little bit of speed on the base path, especially with nobody out. And they try and pick off, Gurriel at first base. Problem, Freddie Freeman, the Canadian boy, makes the error, and Gurriel gets up to second base. So you look at the way this inning has started out. An error by Swanson to even get Solarte on first base, then the pinch runner, then an error moves him to second base. So without a clean play at all from the Toronto Blue Jays, you have a guy at second base and nobody out. You gotta capitalize on this. Well, Justin Smoke pops out to Freddie Freeman, nobody moves up, and there's 1 away. We saw it a couple games ago against the Yankees. The small ball, move them over, get the job done. Couldn't do it there. But somebody who has really come on since coming off the DL, Randall Grichuk, he lines a single to center field, but the problem is it was hit too hard. Gurriel has to hold up at third base. Runners in the corners, 1 away for Russell Martin. And the way I think about Russell and the way he has been this year, for me, it's either a walk or an out. His on-base percentage is still pretty good. Batting average, though, it ain't too good. But he gets a ball about, I want to say center cut. It was not, I wouldn't say it was in, and it wasn't outside. It was more like a center cut, and he drills it through the left side. Gurriel comes in to score. The Jays got the lead, and Russell Martin actually gets a hit, and a clutch one. And the Jays have runners at first and second now, still only 1 away. And then Grichuk with a heads-up play steals third base. Now, runners in the corners, once again, with only 1 away. And Kevin Pillar, I don't know how he gets to this pitch, but I mean, it doesn't surprise me anymore because he does this quite a bit. He got to this ball, looked like it was up and in or something. I mean, it was definitely up near his face level, but we're accustomed to seeing him swing at those. What we're not accustomed to seeing is him getting base hits out of it, as he somehow gets a base hit through right field. Randall Grichuk comes in to score. The Jays got a 2-run lead, 3-1. And Russell Martin ends up at third base because it wasn't a hard hit ball. And they bring in a new pitcher. Then what does Aledmys Diaz do? He doubles to the opposite field down the line. Russell Martin comes in to score. Kevin Pillar comes in to score. And the Jays got a 5-1 lead. What is happening? Next batter, Devin Travis. He drills a ball. Ground rule double up and over the fence there in left field. Diaz comes in to score. And the Jays got a 6-1 lead. The Jays put up a 5 spot in the 8th. The team, remember earlier in the season how the Jays were such a dynamite team when it came to 7th inning or later offensively. You saw that on display today. Unbelievable job by this team finding ways to get the job done there in the latter half. And look how it all started. A team makes an error. They make another error. And you have a guy at second with nobody out. And what happens? You put up a 5 spot. That's the way you're supposed to do it. Great job by the Jays in that. And the Aaron Loop comes out in the bottom of the 8th. And we're thinking, we got a 6-1 lead. Let's keep it going. And they get a couple runners on. We're like, all right, Aaron, can you calm down a little bit? Kurt Suzuki hits an RBI ground out. But that's all she wrote there. And Tyler Clippard comes out there, or 2-1-0 cleans up the mess of Aaron Loop there in the bottom of the 8th inning. And then Tyler Clippard comes out in the bottom of the 9th inning. And as we've seen as of late from Tyler Clippard, a couple home runs he's given up. Big home runs. But other than that, he has been pretty solid over the last little while. Goes a clean inning, no hits, no walks, 2 strikeouts. And as the Blue Jays pick up the victory, 6-2. O's ERA down to 2.95. Tyler Clippard's ERA 3.09. If we talk about trading chips at the deadline, guys that have a just over 3 ERA or just under 3 ERA as relievers, teams want that, especially when they're veterans as well. Teams look for that, so those are things I think the Jays will be looking forward to moving forward. Now, if we're talking about guys who open your eyes offensively today, nothing. The Jays, they had a total of 8 hits. Excluding Marcus Stroman going 1 for 3 because he's a stud. Remember last year in May against Julio Teheran, he takes him deep to the opposite field. That was a shock in itself. Today, facing Julio Teheran again in his first at-bat, singles to center field. So that was the only hit he had in the ball game. He also struck out once. But you know what? Marcus Stroman's out there to pitch. He got a single, and he pitched 7 great innings for the Toronto Blue Jays. Great job there. Everyone else, though, was 1 for, except for Gurriel, but he was 0 for 1. He also came in to score, obviously, on the pinch run there. Hernandez was 0 for 2. Granderson 0 for 2. But everybody else had a hit. And that's a great job by the Jays, scattering hits and finding ways to score runs. That's what good teams do. They find ways. Excuse me, I don't want to sneeze here. Teams make errors. What are you supposed to do? Nail that in the coffin and make them pay. The Jays did that today. Now, Game 2 of the series, the finale of the mini 2-game set against the Atlanta Braves, goes tomorrow night. Sam Gaviglio, oh God, I'm pretty sure I know how to pronounce this. Mike Foltynewicz. I think I pronounced that right. I saw the name and I'm like, oh, I know the name, but can I do it? And I think I got it. Mike Foltynewicz, one of the very good starting pitchers for the Atlanta Braves. He's had one heck of a season so far. Record of only 6-5, but an ERA of 2.37. Not a lot of people are talking about this guy. Well, some people are, but again, up here, you don't hear a lot about the Atlanta Braves unless they have Jose Bautista, which they did, and they let him go. So, Mike Foltynewicz is a great starter. Sam Gaviglio on the mound for the Jays. He was cut short in his last start against the Yankees, but overall didn't do too bad in that game. ERA of 3.81 for Sam Gaviglio. 7:35 first pitch down there in Atlanta. The Jays look for the mini 2-game sweep over the Atlanta Braves, and after losing 2 straight to the Yankees, they look to win 2 straight against the Braves. And you know why you want those 2 wins? Because then you go to Boston and face a team the Jays fans love to face, the Red Sox. You got Happ versus Price in Game 1, Baraki versus Porcello in Game 2, Marco Estrada versus Eduardo Rodriguez in Game 3, and Stroman versus Hector Velasquez in Game 4. Yeah, we got a 4-game set in Boston. Yippee. That's going to be a fun one. But first off, like I said, tomorrow against the Atlanta Braves at 7:35 down in Atlanta. All right, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. You guys enjoyed this video. And if you guys enjoyed that 8th inning and Marcus Stroman start. Hit that like button, I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below, guys, if you guys enjoyed the video, if you guys enjoyed the game. What was your take on this game? What'd you think of Stroman? You know what I thought? He threw strikes. That's when he's good. He was dialing in. His pitches were moving. He looked great. I want to hear what you guys have to say about his start. What'd you think of, what have you thought of Clippard and Sangwon as of late? They've been very, very good. And also the bats coming huge there in the 8th inning. What was the big part of that? I want to hear what you guys have to say. And we'll talk to you guys Thursday night. Podcast edition. I apologize, guys. It was supposed to be today, but a big thing, I'll mention it on the podcast on Thursday, but a big thing came up today, and I just could not do it. You guys, when you hear about it, you'll probably understand. I hope you guys do. I really do apologize in advance, but it will be uploaded Thursday night, guys. Don't you worry. Link is in the description for the podcast channel and for the podcast itself on iTunes. Twitter down below. Follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow night. It'll be a little bit later night because I got baseball tomorrow night. Second game at 9:30 tomorrow night, so it's going to be a doozy. But tomorrow night, there will be a video, obviously, guys. 7:35, first pitch down in Atlanta. Sam Gaviglio versus Mike Foltynewicz. The Jays look for the mini 2-game sweep over the Atlanta Braves. Talk to you guys then.